Parts of the viewing area are under a severe thunderstorm watch. I'll show you what counties are included coming up in your first alert forecast.
Police say one person is in custody after the deadly shooting of a Memphis police officer last night, but police are still seeking more information.
The city of Cedar Rapids is putting in protected bike lanes in a part of downtown. I'll tell you what they're all about coming up in a live report.
Live in high definition from your 24-hour news source. You're watching KCRG-TV 9 News at 5:30.
Thank you for joining us on this Sunday. We'll start off with meteorologist Chris Havley with all this hot weather we're all experiencing. Also keeping watch for any severe storms that could pop up with that hot air.
That's right. We are watching radar pretty closely, and there already has been a severe thunderstorm watch issued for far northeastern parts of the TV9 viewing area. Most of our Wisconsin counties, including Crawford and Grant. But a look at First Alert Pinpoint Doppler radar, and the only storm activity we have going on right now is just near Des Moines to the west. It's all associated with a cold front that is pushing through the state here this evening. Now, any storm activity that does pop up in the TV9 viewing area is looking to be very isolated, so we think most places will stay dry. However, as you move down toward the south of I-80, these storms may start to clip that area, so we'll keep an eye on the storms as they do continue to march off toward the east, south of Interstate 80. Here's your planner for the rest of tonight. We'll keep that storm chance in for the first half of our night, at least for the evening hours, then a clear and cooler night ahead with some cooler weather for tomorrow as well. We'll talk about some very comfortable conditions for Monday in just a few minutes. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Those traveling throughout downtown Cedar Rapids will soon notice some major changes on the roads. A project is slated to start soon that will change portions of 2nd Avenue and 3rd Avenue Southeast right in the heart of the city from one-way streets to two-way streets. As part of that project, crews will section off the edges of 3rd Avenue on both sides for a new type of bike lane called protected bike lanes. Those again will run on both sides of 3rd Avenue from 6th Street Southwest to 3rd Street Southeast. KCRG-TV 9's Jill Casper joins us live from downtown. And Jill, the city is starting to spread the word about these bike lanes.
That's right, because the city knows with anything new, it can be confusing. Now, as you said, these are called protected bike lanes, and they're a little different than other ones that you might have seen, where the bike lanes are right next to the lane of travel. Now, instead, bikers are protected by a row of parked cars that are between the motor vehicle traffic and the bicycle traffic. Volunteers took part in a demonstration today as a way to get people used to what it will look like once the project is finished in October. Project leaders say this is the first of its kind in Iowa, but other cities use the protected bike lanes. They're expected to increase safety.
You decrease the chance of being doored, the car door opening into cyclists. You decrease the chance of just being hit. And you really make it feel more comfortable for everyone to come out and ride on the street. So in some ways it's closer to that trail feel, but on the street.
Now, as we mentioned, these new bike lanes are getting installed as part of a bigger project to convert a portion of 2nd and 3rd Avenues into two-way streets. That entire conversion project, along with the bike lanes, is slated to cost about $1 million of city funds. Now, the city again does want to warn people that changes are coming. They're going to start work anytime on those conversions here with the traffic and with the bicycle lanes. We'll have much more on this story coming up tonight at 10. For now, though, we're live in downtown Cedar Rapids. Jill Casper, KCRG TV 9 News.
Thank you, Jill. In Wisconsin, police in Prairie du Chien say a man died from a possible drowning early this morning. Investigators say they found the man under a fishing pier at the Campion boat landing at about 7:45 a.m. today. Witnesses say they saw him swim around the pier, but after not seeing nor hearing from him for some time, they found him underwater. Investigators say the man died at a nearby hospital. Police do believe previous health history may have contributed to his death. Investigators are expected to identify the man on Monday. Was it an order from an Iowa judge that crossed a line? The American Civil Liberties Union of Iowa says a judge's decision to ban a woman convicted of child endangerment from getting pregnant while on probation is unconstitutional. Floyd County's District Court Judge James Drew issued the order to 21-year-old Stephanie Fatland. Mason City Police say that she admitted to shaking her 5-month-old son when he would not stop crying. An Iowa legal director of the ACLU says reproductive freedoms and the freedom to procreate are constitutional rights. One day after union members with Penford Products voted overwhelmingly to reject the contract offer from parent company Ingredient, the working shifts do continue at the facility in Cedar Rapids. The agreement between workers with the bakery, confectionery, tobacco workers and grain millers union local 100G expired yesterday at 7 in the morning. 2 hours later, 95% of the members rejected the proposed deal from the company, according to the union. Yet for now, both union and company officials confirm that the work shifts do continue and operation is as normal, but the union said yesterday it could still strike. A major national story today out of Memphis. Police there say they are questioning a person of interest in connection to the deadly shooting of a Memphis police officer last night. Police officer Sean Bolt was making a traffic stop, according to investigators, when someone in the car shot the officer multiple times and drove off. An ambulance took the 33-year-old officer to the hospital where he later died. The shooting follows a series of incidents across the nation in which some have accused police of excessive force at traffic stops.
Regardless of race, creed, color, economic status, what profession that person holds, all lives matter. And this is just a reminder of how dangerous this job is.
Memphis police add that Officer Bolt is the third Memphis police officer killed in the line of duty over the past 4 years. Officers have not filed any charges. With the 5 Democrats already having announced that they are running for the 2016 presidential nomination, Vice President Joe Biden has not made any presidential plans public, and those close to him say Biden feels no pressure to join the race just yet. But CNN was reporting a group of the vice president's friends and advisors are urging him to keep the door open for 2016. A recent national poll found 15% of Democrats support Vice President Biden, but the poll also found he would be a clear second choice behind former Secretary of State and current frontrunner Hillary Clinton. The vice president has endured a most difficult time of late as his son Beau passed away of brain cancer 2 months ago. The newest polls on the Republican side show presidential candidate Donald Trump still leading the field of 16 Republicans. The NBC News Wall Street Journal poll shows 19% of Republicans who were polled nationwide say that they want Trump as the party nominee. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker is second at 15%. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush came in close at 14% in the same poll. Last week's CNN Opinion Research Corporation poll also had Trump in first, but showed Bush ahead of Walker. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie has spent the past 2 weekends campaigning in Iowa. Today, Christie commented on whether he thinks that Trump's popularity is temporary.
He's going to determine through the depth of his answers and the seriousness of his answers whether he's a serious candidate or he isn't. That's what I mean about campaigns mattering. Anybody can do well for a month.
The poll results show that Christie is in a 3-way tie for 10th place. Only the top 10 Republican candidates will be part of the Fox News debate. That's on Thursday night, August 6th. KCRG-TV 9 and the Gazette are co-sponsoring the first Republican Presidential Forum. The Voters' First Forum will air live from New Hampshire tomorrow. KCRG-TV 9's Bruce Aouni is there as 14 candidates lay out why they think they should be president. The forum airs at 6 p.m. on KCRG 9.2, streaming online on KCRG.com. And do make sure to watch for live coverage of the event on the KCRG TV 9 News at 10. Again, all that is tomorrow. What a way to start a Sunday morning. A 91-year-old World War II veteran from Cedar Rapids took a ride on Fifi, the last known flying B-29 Super Fortress aircraft. Jerry Micka flew 28 missions during World War II as a central fire control gunner. His family and friends came out to the Eastern Iowa airport to see him take off and go up in the same type of aircraft that he served in 7 decades ago. Mr. Micka says it's wonderful to be back, and the B-29 will always be his favorite plane.
Wonderful. I enjoyed the B-29. It was a really great plane. A lot better than any others I've ever seen or been along with. I've been to some smaller planes too, but they were fun, but not like the B-29.
Mr. Micka's son says that after they went flying for his father's 91st birthday, that he wanted to go back up in a B-29 again if he could. Eastern Iowa Honor Flight sponsored the ride in Fifi along with some of the family members for today. Great to see him going back up. The University of Iowa is taking part in a national experiment to try to learn more about the building blocks of the universe. Up next, you can meet one University of Iowa scientist helping and hoping to bring that research to life and to the masses. In NASCAR, everybody knows a little place like Pocono. Well, the fastest man from Cedar Rapids placed high on the tracks today. We'll follow Landon Castles Sunday later in sports. Stay with your 24-hour news source, KCRG-TV 9.
Live, on air, and online from your 24-hour news source. Chris Earl, meteorologist Chris Havley, and Josh Christensen Sports. This is the KCRG-TV 9 News at 5:30.
Perhaps you've heard of the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. It's a large device helping scientists understand how the building blocks of our universe work. One of the experiments taking place there is the compact muon solenoid. It's a massive piece of equipment that detects a certain type of particle. Universities globally are involved in the experiment, including Iowa. TV 9's Brady Smith shows us how one scientist is bringing the CMS to the masses.
After months of building computer models of the compact muon solenoid, or CMS, you could say James Wetzel knows it inside and out.
All of the components are very compact into it. It's got a big solenoid, big magnet in the middle to turn the particles that are charged.
But Wetzel says one of the top researchers with CERN wanted something tangible to help people better understand what the CMS is and what it does. He and Wetzel agreed taking these models into the third dimension was the answer.
He commissioned me to do one model, and I did one, and then he asked, okay, would you be able to do 70? And I said, let me think about it.
Wetzel went to work, and he's been putting this line of small 3D printers through their paces, running them around the clock. Layer by layer, they sculpt the model in the computer, each piece taking several hours.
It's 56 or 57 hours of total print time for one model.
But Wetzel says the payoff is in the cost savings.
Some companies wanted $1 million to do 70, some companies wanted $150,000.
And the educational value of the finished product.
This 3D model in your hand allows you to see exactly what we're talking about. Oh, it's this dimension, it's that, it has this gap here, this space here.
The first 50 models will go out to the universities associated with CMS.
Notre Dame, Purdue, University of Iowa, some other universities like that.
The rest go out to what Wetzel calls VIPs.
The director of CERN, Rolf Hoyer. There's one at Chicago Tonight, the news program in Chicago. And then the Big Bang Theory TV show. We can't predict how they're going to use it. I'm hoping they break it or something.
And Wetzel says he's not finished.
Do you anticipate having to do more after that?
Yes.
In Iowa City, Brady Smith, KCRG-TV 9 News.
Still keeping watch for what may be occurring tonight with meteorologist Chris Havley watching the skies.
That's right. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in place till 10 p.m. for our Wisconsin counties, including Grant and Crawford. One more look at first alert pinpoint Doppler radar. The thunderstorms not in the area right now, but there are some back off toward the south and west near Des Moines. We'll keep an eye on those storms as they may start to push into southern parts of the TV 9 viewing area here later this evening.
Also, cooler days are coming for the next few days ahead. What a way to start off August. Thanks for joining us here for the TV 9 News at 5:30. We'll see you tonight at 10.